On that note, welcome to another episode of Brews Views, Tales from the Sea and the City. My name is Kevin Griffin, along with my partner in crime and co-host, Mr. Jeff Williams. Jeff, it's good to be back in the Nest 2.0 with you.
It's been a hot minute.
Long time no see.
I know. Busy end of the summer.
It has been. I've worked quite a bit.
There's been a lot more things going on than just quite a bit.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Well, before we get into all that, why don't we talk about, before I go on a tangent, like I always do, talk about the beers that we're drinking this evening. What kind of dark coal from the ground have you...
From the nether?
Yeah.
As from you Minecraft lovers would
from the Baltic layer here that you have dug up this week.
Well, this obsidian liquid I'm drinking this week is actually one we've had on the podcast prior.
It's called Midnight.
Yeah. It's called Dark. My brother Andy, when he was on, you might have known him to have some of this. It's called Samuel Smith's Organic Chocolate Stout. I haven't actually had it. I've had this prior. I don't know what it tastes like. I can't remember what it tastes like. Was that not
the one that he had me try as well, or was that something different?
No, this is the one he had you try.
Oh, okay.
So he says it tastes like Nestle chocolate milk without alcohol. I think that's what he said.
Bold choice, but
yeah.
I don't know if I would agree with that description.
It doesn't really have I would say it doesn't really have a smell to it.
Well, it doesn't really have a taste.
Yeah, it tastes like water.
Dark water. You know that murky water that you pull up from the toilet, when you're like dumping the sump up?
Yeah, exactly.
That's basically what that gets put in that.
Yeah, I will say it definitely has a chocolate milk taste to it.
It's chocolate stout.
Yes. Well, I mean, a lot of my stouts I drink are chocolate stouts.
Most
of them are chocolate stouts.
And they don't taste like chocolate?
Oh, yeah. I think this one only comes in at 5%, so it's a little lighter. But I think they really, tried to get the chocolate milk part of it, that's what they were trying to go for.
That's their focal point, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. I've never read up on this company before.
Is that one of the ones he brought back in from Europe or whatever? Or
he had it on tap in Over
in Europe, okay. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, over in the eastern and western hemisphere, depending on which way you take.
That way.
Yeah, not America.
Correct. Not Western civilization.
Yeah, but it's a good beer. I mean, if you're here to try you're trying to get to your stout flavor. I say it's a ton on this podcast. If you're trying to get to a stout flavor, you want to get to a darker beer. I'd say this would be a good one for you to try, just because it kind of hits home. It hits home for sure for a Hershey. I think it tastes more like a Hershey chocolate milk kind of thing.
Like a dark Hershey chocolate.
Yeah. Like your babysitter is trying to give you chocolate milk, and she wants you to go to bed at 11, so she doesn't give you a whole lot of chocolate in your milk. That's kind of what this tastes like.
It says here it's brewed at a small traditional British brewery, the oldest brewery in Yorkshire. Interesting.
I don't know anything about Yorkshire, so
I don't either.
Was that in the war?
It's organic.
Yeah. Hey, would you look at that?
Yeah, that explains why they lost the war there.
Yeah. Thanks, France.
So if you're looking for something that's the polar opposite of that, if you will, something that has some fruity taste to it,
I think it's becoming more solid.
Different. It is.
I think it's coming down.
There's actually a time limit. I'm supposed to be drinking this by. So I have brought back with me from the Isles of Bloomington. This is a product from 450 North Brewing. This is, and I may mispronounce the name, Say Slushy or Die, 450 North Brewing Company. This is a smoothie-style sour ale made with mango gummies, and mango soft serve ice cream. So this watermelon-flavored beer here is actually...
I would agree with that. Oh, hang on. I got something for you for that beer. Go ahead and keep continuing.
Yes, please do. So it's hard to tell here, folks, but the slushy style of thank you.
Yeah, you need
go ahead
that for
and
sure.
dig into this.
Without stick that son of a gun.
So this ice cream here that I'm drinking is actually, it's taken over more of the glass as I've let it sit here. This is, because this is a slushy style beer, I actually first tried this beer at the one of the local brewing fest here, the Swerker Brewing Fest in Evansville, Indiana. Long story short, went in and had a 2-ounce pour of this beer. Decided I liked it so much, maybe because I had give or take 12 to 13 other beers prior to drinking that.
Yeah.
And asked the salesman there from 450 North if I could buy a 4-pack, and long story short, here we are today.
So I got a question about it. With
Go
your
ahead.
little 2-ounce pour, did it look like that as well? Did it come out like just
this top half here? It just was just when they poured it out because
just pulp?
Yeah, this is straight pulp. I was a little concerned at first, but mango slush, I thought I got to see what this is about.
Yeah.
It was an ale too, so I was like, well, it's a 2-ounce pour.
Yeah.
I mean, I could have tried. I could have turned around, got back in line, tried another one of their beers. Like it's just 2 ounces. It wasn't. I mean, I had like 2 stouts that night. I think. I mean, we're just pulling stuff out of it.
Would you look at that?
I had a stout from the brewery over in St. Myrid or in that area. There's one. I can't think of what the name is for the life of me. But I had one from them, and basically it's because as I'm making my rotation, towards the end of the evening, you only have so many beers left. Once you're out, you're out.
Yeah.
So, of course, the stouts and stuff like that,
Yeah,
your barrel-aged stuff.
The best stuff comes at the end.
Yeah. More so they drink the lighter stuff at the end, and they're like, well, fuck.
Let's go ahead and get this tire wear over here. Yeah, I get that. No, I wonder, I wish I would have been able to go to that. Do they still host it at Bossy Field at all?
No, so this year, and I think they've done it the last 2, maybe 3 years, is at the Westside Library, right there off of Franklin Street.
Oh, Willard's?
Willard's, yeah.
Yeah. You and the Gray Lady can toast one out.
Yes.
Yeah. I knew you were the wheels were turning.
I was, yes.
Yeah.
And I was a little surprised because I had only previously went to it when it was at Bossy Field. Mm-hmm. So I wondered how they were going to, space-wise, how they're going to do all that. They had food trucks there as well. So it was actually really well orchestrated, and I personally think that it was well worth the money spent. I think it was $40 each. But again, once you get in, you can have as many, for everything from your beer, your various styles of beers, ciders, seltzers. They had a little bit of wine. A couple wine places were there. Had one booth that had nothing but moonshine.
Interesting.
Yeah, so you could, for $40, you could get pretty lit a little bit.
They brought someone from Gibson County up there, huh?
Yeah.
For the moonshine.
Bush Light pours and all that.
The Bush Light pours from Hofstad. Yeah, I get that. I've always wanted to go to that. It just seems like an interesting place to see what kind of craft beer that indulges in the tri-state area, because if you think about it, we don't have a lot of craft beer like brewed around here. We got some up north, in the Bloomington area and all that, but around here in the tri-state, we have Myriad and we got Brewdog. That's basically Barker. What am I? Brewdog. Brewdog.
Whoa,
I'm sorry.
That's everywhere.
Yeah. No, Barker. Yeah, Barker Brew House.
And then you got, there are some, there's the Haney's Corner Brewing Company. There's a couple more. Damsel. What else?
I'm glad you get out, because I've never even heard of these people.
I'm missing a couple of places. Damsel's right there on Franklin Street too. It was the old Iron Maiden. And then changed it due to legality.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's that.
Iron Maiden was a brewery company themselves, weren't they? Or was it just a restaurant?
I think it was both, but due to the name change thing, I think they had changed the whole operation.
So was it
to my knowledge?
Was it the same people owning Iron Maiden? Okay, that makes sense.
I think they help brew Myriad beers too now, to my knowledge.
Interesting. Yeah, Myriad, they have some good beers over there. I really enjoy it. I like that, they kind of take the Barker Brew House kind of style, and they have different things. If you don't like craft beer in there, you can get a margarita in there if you want to. Or if you are on my end, because they don't make a lot of stouts over there, or if any, they have Founder's Breakfast Stout in there for you if you want it, which is, I personally think is pretty cool.
I'm just more partial to Barker myself, because between their cans and their draft list,
oh my gosh,
it's unmatched.
Yeah, you'll find something in there that you want.
Yeah.
Oh,
100%.
It's great. So we want to apologize for, I think it's been 2 months
Eons.
since we dropped our last episode.
It's been a hot minute. We left him right there at the hook, on a cliffhanger. I don't remember how our last episode ended.
Which last episode?
I don't remember what number we're on now. I don't remember what the last
25, 26?
Yeah, something in that range.
I don't remember. Anyways, we want to apologize. We've been busy a lot this summer.
This is true.
He's been on several vacations in these last 2 months.
I've been on like one. No, actually one.
Yeah, but still.
I went on vacation. We had
funny.
some technical difficulties trying to get the one out that
It
blew
never-
up in our faces.
I would say it never actually came out, which it might come out eventually.
The unreleased.
The unreleased.
Yeah.
I actually watched that on my phone today.
You have it on your phone?
I have. No, wait. Which one is the one of me wearing the Pabst Blue Ribbon hat?
It is that one.
No, it's not. I don't think it's that one.
I'm almost certain.
We'll look at it. Anyways, I have one on my phone that I watched today just because I was like, man, I really miss making this podcast, and
then you Googled nonsensology, and
yeah, I was like,
well,
I don't want to end up like them. They don't even talk anymore. It's like an awkward room when they get into there. They're like, ugh,
meeting of the mind,
canoe trip. Anyways, so we're sorry. We're back. We're here.
we're here.
That's the big thing. Kevin, you've had a lot going on, especially since we sat down last, Wednesday, and I was like, hey, when can you record next? And you go, well, let me pull up my schedule.
I'm
next
telling you that
Tuesday.
It wasn't an exaggeration, and I'll be darned, here we are. Like,
yeah, I would agree. Yeah,
I'm telling you, I just stay busy. I'll tell you one thing too, though. That so I told you I ended up at Henderson Brewing Company on Saturday, celebrating one of their best events of the year, their Oktoberfest.
Yeah.
Another excellent event provided by the good folks down at Henderson Brewing Company. It'd be a shame if they called us to do karaoke again for Oktoberfest, but it's fine. It's neither here nor there. We'll get out to
not
it
looking
eventually.
at you, Zach, at all, but
But we ended up having tickets to go to Party in Paradise over at Newburgh, and it ended up raining itself out. With the monsoon that came in post hurricane.
dude, it rained so much.
My grass looks amazing now.
Yeah, I know. I gotta recut my grass.
Yeah.
I thought I was done for the year, and they're like, "Oh, by the way, we're gonna get 3 days of rain." Cool.
Yeah, you're like even better.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, they ended up being a bust and ended up raining out because I was looking forward to that. It's usually an event I've gone to several years, but it's out in Freedman Park over in Newburgh, Indiana. And they basically, it's just your typical fundraiser for the Warwick County Parks Association over there in Newburgh. Different vendors, beer truck, food trucks, etc. It's just a live music. It's a really good time. So disappointed it rained out, but it did give me the opportunity to visit our pals over at Henderson Brewing Company and have some of their fine craft beer per usual. They've got a new tap list even since we've been there. They've got a couple of their strongholds, about 3 or 4 of their strongholds, but I mean they're sitting on about 11, 12 beers on tap right now.
Sounds like we need to make a trip down there soon.
I was just there Saturday. I'm waiting on you, brother.
Well, shoot, I gotta go through your scheduler. I gotta go through your planner.
This is correct. You schedule in advance, and
What's your schedule out to right now? Like 6 months, give or take.
Listen, yeah, I got stuff going. I mean, it just consistently fills up over time.
He goes. Oh, I said we want to record. Well, I got a North football game on Friday.
That
I'm
ends
like,
up getting
who are
rained
you
out, too.
related to?
Yeah.
That's a North football. Oh, it's this and that and the other.
That ended up getting rained out too. I mean, just killed my whole weekend.
Yeah. Well, where were you at last night?
Where was I at last night?
McCutcheonville.
Yeah, I was down in McCutcheonville at the soccer field.
Dude has
support all
no
that,
kids.
too.
No kids. Watching
I got
6-year-olds.
I got nieces and nephews. That's why I'm out there.
Yeah,
It's
in
a difference.
Illinois, but but we haven't gotten into that yet.
This is true. So I guess prior to talking about what I've done in the past week-ish, because that's not really that exciting, I guess we could talk about what we've done in the past. Let's see, it's October now. I don't know, month and a half, just over a month, give or
What
take.
was it, July, the last time we put out an episode? Or was it early August?
Yeah, it was mid-August.
Mid-August?
Yeah,
Okay.
it was mid-August.
Yeah.
It ain't been that long, Sasquatch. So, let's see. Went to Cancun. That was a good time. I'd never went to an all-inclusive resort before, so that was the bee's knees, as they say.
Me and the wife have been talking about doing that.
Dude, I'm telling you, personally, I did it myself. Granted, I know what I'm looking for in the traveling and such, and I read a lot of reviews. There's no secret of how I learn about this stuff. Is just a lot of it from the reviews, and look at a lot of pictures and things like that. But dude, the all-inclusive is the way to go. I mean, you getting the bundle that I went through Expedia, getting the one-stop flight, the resort and everything put together. I mean, I would 100% do that again if I'm going to somewhere like a Mexico, where
Like a Mexico.
Like a Mexico, not New
like
Mexico.
a Mexican
Mexico.
restaurant, you know, going to get
Well, it's Tres Amigos or whatever.
yeah, chimichanga,
Yeah, a little
chips and
chimichanga
salsa.
and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
Tortilla.
yeah, a little tortilla, you know, a little gringo steak, if you will.
Give me that carnitas.
Yeah.
The carnitas.
Well, let me
steak
get into that. I got some good stories about Cancun here.
Oh Jesus!
you're gonna be like,
let me buckle up.
You're gonna be like, maybe this was, maybe he is really American after all. So let's see. Again, all inclusive, well worth it. The travel down was really a breeze. I had a rental car to just be able to, again, I didn't want to rely on any kind of public transportation, taxis and such, so I wanted to make sure I was in control of that because you hear the horror stories.
You don't want to die.
Correct.
Yeah, I get that.
You hear the horror stories and you want to take every precaution that you can because you truly never know. And you hear these things and they really do happen, so you just want to make sure that I try to mitigate what risk I can by just providing my own transportation. That way I don't have to worry about anything. If my cell phone died, whatever, you know, I still have keys to a vehicle if we're out somewhere, and that kind of thing. And you just have to be careful because one of the places we went to down in, one was Tulum, which is probably about 2 hours south of Cancun from our resort there. And then we went to another place, Isla Mujeres, which was the island next to Cancun, which was pretty cool because we took kind of like a giant ferry. It was a 2 double-decker ferry, about 15, 20-minute ferry ride over to this little island.
That's cool.
But that place, I mean, I'm trying to think of what's even a compare. Think of your worst flea market you've ever imagined. So it was so shifty and shady. So at this resort, we had these wristbands or like these bracelets that we had to wear, but you had to keep them on the whole time.
Yeah.
Like we kept those bracelets on the whole week. And when they have our resort things that guide us into our room or, you know, different
It's kind of like
areas
staying
of the
at a
resort.
Wyndham.
Yeah, the equivalent.
Yeah.
You know, you just got to use your bracelet to get into.
Like when we
places.
went to Vegas.
Correct.
Yes. Gotcha.
Not like when you went to Vegas and got locked out by your wife, but that's neither here nor there.
That's a different story,
Yes.
you know.
I digress.
I
you know.
digress, yes.
And
4 hours later with
So-
a taco bag in an old fashioned sitting in the center of the hallway. But
on floor.
yes. Oh, don't worry.
yeah,
There's
we're
something.
good. Yeah. People are looking at you thinking, well, he's hit rock bottom. He must have lost his life savings or his IRA or some shit. Hell, I don't know.
The house on the
Yeah.
line. It was on black.
I'll be damned, 0 again. I don't want to talk about what happened, you know, last time we went to Bally's. That's a different story. So we're here at this remote island, and I'm not joking. So we got off this ferry. I mean, there's every bit of, I don't know, I want to say 150 people on this ferry, if not a little bit more. Like I said, it's 2 rows. I mean, just filled top to bottom. I mean, because it's nonstop. I mean, they would come in and go in every 30 minutes. Well, we get off this ferry, and this main drag here is like if you were. I'm trying. There's nothing I can even really compare it to, but it's just street vendors. You can rent golf carts, which is what we did. That was the primary mode of transportation because they don't want you to rent cars because the island is that small.
Yeah.
And correct. And so, I mean, but there were people. Why I mentioned the bracelets thing. There were people there that were like trying to pull a fast one on me. They're like, "Hey, senor, you know, I'm from the Riviera Resort. You know, I'm your server." Like, what? Yeah, like.
My ass.
And I turned around at one point and looked at him and was like, and started like going on about it. And I was like, "Oh, Hector, where's that money you promised me? I'm coming to get you more." And then he like turned around and ran
He's
off.
like, I'm gonna get my shit freaking snapped in half.
Because now you can laugh at this all you want, and you will. The producer can attest here. It started out about 9 out of 10 people. Then it went to literally every person. It spoke to me like I was Hispanic. And now-
Hard to believe, but
Correct.
continue.
And yeah, I know it's impossible.
Yeah.
It's like me going to Norway and people speaking Norwegian to me. It's about the same equivalent. And so after a while, now I can bullshit my way through a Spanish conversation just from my 3 years of Spanish in high school a decade ago plus.
Bien, taco,
Yeah,
burrito.
you know, taco, burrito, etc.
Yes.
Muy. Yeah, Jennifer Lopez, you know, whatever.
Shakira.
Manny Pacquiao, but I don't really know. Pollo Loco.
Yeah.
I don't.
It's just,
whatever.
It's all the same.
So
Salsa.
yeah, it's So I tried to communicate as best I can, and eventually I was just like, I'm sorry, I can't. This is my limit.
Yeah, I got you.
I can get you about 2 sentences, and that's about it. I can get you from here to there. I can tell you what I want.
Hola.
Yeah.
I got
That's it. That's all I
got.
got. So
dab you up.
It's that was a ride because there's just people constantly having. We got this golf cart rental. People were like jumping out of us in front of the street, like, oh, senor, let me, like, if you tried coming to like a rolling stop, like they were gonna like try to sell you stuff.
Yeah.
So basically, I blew through every stop sign on that damn golf cart.
I had a buddy that when I was out in San Diego, stationed out there, he accidentally went through the last exit before you get to Tijuana.
Yeah.
And he told the border crossing guy, like, hey, I missed my exit. I can't turn around.
Ignore the giant signs that say the last exit in USA. Yeah.
Exactly. He said, okay. So he radioed a guy, and the guy up there told him, like, okay. So he went up there, and he said from the time he got there to the around, he said he bought new window wipers, a new air freshener. He bought a doll,
a rosary. Just the whole thing.
I think he did buy a rosary actually.
A little Jesus statue.
And he said he denied 90% of the people.
Yeah.
And I said, "You're telling me you bought 5 items down there and you denied 90% of them?
Yeah.
You gotta be kidding me."
It's bad, dude.
Yeah.
It is.
I was like, there had to been like a UFC style like stadium wrapped around these, like they're just running.
Seriously
after you.
though, yeah. Especially when they know you're a tourist. It's
they would have definitely known this guy was a tourist.
Yeah, it's very hard to hide that. They just know what they're looking for, and even you're going, like, we only went to the tourist spots, so like there's just people that I'm fairly certain that while we were in Tulum, I got to go to that jungle gym I told you about. That
looked pretty
That was
cool.
so freaking cool.
That looks pretty sweet.
That was one of the highlights.
They had bamboo and cinder blocks, and they were just bench
cranking out, dude. It's wild.
They were falling off.
Yeah, 100%. Well, I was lifting up rocks, doing like back workouts.
Yeah, going up, picking up coconuts. And like,
lat pulls, I'm throwing more coconuts and stone on there, and then just pulling them down.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The way the gym. It sounds racist, but if you look at the gym that they were at, it would make sense.
Yeah.
Go to his Facebook, Instagram page. Go look at both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, both of them.
Both.
You'll
understand that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I thought about making a post just specifically for that because I have so many more photos and videos of that. Just because I've recorded most of it and took a lot of photos.
Yeah.
Just because it was such a unique experience. So while we were down in Tulum, we left the. Oh, hello there.
What the? I've never seen her do. Hey, this is Mrs. Kitty. What are you doing? Come here.
Come here.
And
now she goes.
Yeah, girl. I've never seen her jump that high.
Dude, I've seen my dog do shit in the last 2 weeks, and this dog's gonna be Air Bud by the time I'm done.
Yeah, but the fact that she jumped that high and stopped on point.
On point, yeah. Cat-like reflexes.
I don't know her age anymore. I thought she was older, but
no, that's just the front she puts on.
She might be 3, maybe 2.
Correct. I am 7. So we went to this. It's the equivalent of a state park, if you will, down there for the Tulum ruins. We paid 3 different instances to get to these damn ruins. I'm not convinced that we did not get shifted. So we parked. So we paid for the parking, which is fine. That was all legit.
Parking is parking.
Yeah, parking is parking. It was dirt cheap. It was legit. Other people were parking there. It's fine. And it was right at the entrance of this state park equivalent type of thing. Well, you walked in and they searched your bag. Well, they told us we had to go to some different gate here to pay. And then we walked back 5 minutes later, and then they didn't ask me for a receipt or a wristband or nothing like that. So then we were like, okay, that was odd. So then we walked back, and these were the guards, the people walking around with AKs, and the women sitting at the table that are checking the bags.
Wow.
And so we went through there, and then we walked a little bit because it's a bit of a distance to get to. It's probably a mile or so to get to the actual ruins because they're right there.
Oh, okay, I get you. Okay.
Yeah, it's off the. It's right on the coast there.
Saying now. Yeah.
And So we went to this other place, and then we had to pass through some sort of gate situation. But before we even got to the gate situation, there was like a barrier that you had to pass, basically like a turnstile, like if you go to Menards kind of thing.
Yeah.
So you have to, and before we got to that, they were like, "Oh, you have to go to this trailer back here. That's like, if you turn around, you can see the trailer, and you have to get a wristband." So we're like, "Okay, whatever." We paid to get this, so we went up there. It's like 2 adults, whatever. We got the wristbands, paid to get in there, and then we get to this turnstile thing. Like we get past the turnstile there, and then we get to one more gate. And think, oh, we got to show them the wristband or whatever. And they're like, no, you have to pay the, like some sort of just a mix fee. Like, oh, he pointed some sign, it was whatever, 50 pesos or whatever it was. And we're like, so the wristband is no good? He's like, no, the wristband, lack of a better term, he's like, the wristband is for the park, this is for the ruins. And we're like, okay, whatever, like we've already gone this far. And we can see like through if
I could see the ruins from the gates, I call that a win.
Like on the other side, like once you go through this third place that we were at, there was a stone wall, and then like through the stone wall was. Have you ever been to Cave and Rock over in Illinois?
I've never been there.
All right, well that point is mute. Well, it's basically like this little cave there that you walk through maybe.
Been to Marengo Cave.
Okay, I mean, but it's not like you can see the other side, and like you can see the whole ruins thing on the other side. So you walk right through that. Well, we paid the third time, and then walked through there, and then we were finally in the ruins. I was like, so help me God if I had to pay one more time.
What would you say all that 4 times paying cost you in American dollars?
I don't know. See, it's hard to say because it was based on the pesos. I don't know. I want to say altogether for both of us combined, $20-$30.
Oh shoot, that would have been fine then.
I mean, in the principle, because it was penny. You mean like it wasn't a whole lot. Like, it may have been $10 each time, but it was the fact of like
you're
getting swindled
around
each time, and you don't know. Like we knew we were in the right place, and this is where everyone is going to.
Yeah.
But everyone's doing the same thing. We're like, well, why would we pay 3 different things?
It's like that scene in We're the Millers, where the cops just like 1,000, and he's just like, "What? I gotta blow you for $1,000?"
Correct.
He's like, "No, 1,000 pesos." He's like, "Whoa, was that a crisp 20?"
Yeah. That's kind of equivalent. Yeah,
keep the change.
You're like, that was essentially the equivalent.
Yeah.
So that was one triggering thing. The second triggering thing, the producer's gonna love this. I will forever take this to my grave.
Well, you're telling it here, so everybody's going to hear.
No. I'm like, I will forever remember this because I've never
keep the anger inside of you.
I've never been more pissed off at a restaurant, and just so much so that I never do this. I'm a pretty patient guy when it comes to the food service industry. And
you wouldn't call yourself a
Zach Young,
yes,
if you will.
Mr. Young. Yeah,
yes,
I wasn't gonna say
bring the chef out. When you said the steak is not my friend's side.
I brought an actual scale here.
It's not
this is
the weight.
I bought an 8 ounce, but this is 5 ounces.
Yeah. Then they're going to the cooler that you see in front of Texas. Right? Never mind. It's we've done this before.
If I was that cook, dude, I would have brought him out a raw steak.
This
is your dinner. This is your dinner.
Yeah,
you want 8 ounces? This is it. This
is an 8 ounce steak microwave.
Enjoy. I wouldn't even have cooked it. I wouldn't even have seasoned it.
We were at the
White.
This is better. You'll catch this reference. We were at the white man's Benihana's. We were at Hooters.
Yep.
We were at Hooters. Thank you. I'm glad you got it. We were at Hooters in downtown Cancun.
Do you have milk? How's your chicken breast?
we were at the downtown. We're in the Hooters downtown Cancun, and it's we had just got done. This was the day we went to the ferry and things like that. This was our last day there. The last thing like we were doing, because we were going to go back to the resort and have a nice evening, and then we were flying out the next day.
Yeah.
So we go to this Hooters, and she orders her wings and some fries, and I order my wings and fries. And I told her, I'm not a big spicy kind of guy. So
I'm not either.
Yeah,
I like more flavor than spice.
Yeah, I was just like, just give me your regular mild wings, just plain simple, just your mild wings, no big deal.
That was probably a mistake.
Correct.
Yeah.
She said, you want mild? And I said, yes, the mild wings, like a 10 count, and then the fries. And she, oh, okay, mild, And I was, okay, whatever. So we sat there, 10 minutes goes by, whatever, the food comes out, and the producer gets hers, and then I get mine. And I can look already, and I'm like, this is not what I ordered. But I said, who knows? We're in Mexico. It might be a little different here, whatever. Took a bite, and I was like, no, this is definitely not what I ordered. So I go back on the menu, and I just happened to look, and then I realized as she was like repeating herself, she thought I said the 3 mile sauce. Oh. So this is the second one down from their hottest sauce. Like, this is 2 above hot.
Yeah.
Which is what the producer got, was just their hot wings. She's more of the hot wings fan, not really my cup of tea. And I took one bite, and I was like, okay.
Freaking pass out.
Not like, I'm a freaking bust.
Yeah.
And so I bring, excuse me, this is the wrong sauce. And she was not computing what... I said,
El
okay.
Rongo El Salso.
And now I have a soft spot for people that have a bit of a language barrier or whatever. People do this shit to my mother too, and I don't like it when it happens.
Your mother's a saint, though.
Correct, and people act like she can't, like they don't understand her. I get really defensive over it. But
we had a beautiful conversation at your house. Right?
I pointed to I said no, mild, and she was like mild 3, and she pointed to the other one. No, like. This is the wrong, so like, no, we don't want, like, can we exchange this? Like,
I don't want to have flaming diarrhea later tonight.
Because even the producer was like, no, this is too, like, I won't even, like, no, let's not. I mean, I had 75% of one out of the 10 thing. And so she goes and she's not understanding, and we're just, like, looking at each other. And she goes and gets more of a senior waitress or whatever that speaks better English. And I'm trying to explain to her, and she gets it. Oh, it's the wrong sauce, whatever. And then, but she didn't understand the concept, I guess, of like you can take these back and just bring me the right sauce. It will be good. Like I don't want these. Like whatever you do with them, I don't care.
Yeah, not my problem.
Yeah, but I'm not paying for these.
Yeah.
And then this is at that point that I started getting frustrated. I started getting pissed because I'm just like, I don't know how to clearly explain this any more than I already have.
Yeah.
And so at that point, they now get a manager, and I'm just like, okay,
what is like a junior cartel member at this point? Yeah,
he and the parking attendant downstairs are actually drug lords, and so then now I'm just pissed at beyond at this point because now like the producer's done eating her dinner, I'm still like hungry. We're still in I still have these hot ass wings in front of me. I'm fuming at this point.
Still on fire.
I'm just livid.
So I have a question before you start on the rest of your story.
Yeah, please.
Did you not realize that you were at an all-inclusive hotel where you could have gone back to your room and ordered room service and got what you wanted?
Okay, producer,
is that what she said too?
That's exactly what she said. She was like, I don't know why we're eating out. We ate that twice. One at this divine seafood place that we got
which makes sense.
Massive platter of seafood.
Yes.
The whole. I mean,
I saw the picture. It was beautiful.
So fresh. I regret I didn't take one before. They brought out the entire seafood platter and they said, "Is this what you want?" And I went through and got everything.
You're like alive. Yes.
And then they're like, "Okay, we'll be back." And then they took the raw seafood. Took it and cooked it and brought the same thing back in the exact same order.
Beautiful.
Like, I mean, it couldn't get any fresher than that. Yeah.
Now it's $15.
I don't want to disclose how much I paid for that meal. I did.
It was worth it. It was more than what the hookah was.
It was. And he didn't. I was just like, what's your, we're wanting some good seafood. What's your seafood specialties? Oh, we have this platter here or whatever. Me not computing, this was our second day there. I didn't get the equivalent of the peso dollar conversion.
I still don't know what it is.
It was hefty. I will say this.
What would you say $1 is worth to 1 peso? So like you have $1.
You have to look at the exchange rate. I honestly don't remember.
But do you remember anywhere close to it at all? Because I have no idea.
I would say like $1 was like maybe 50 pesos or something like that. Okay. I don't know but I think that's around about what it was.
Yeah.
I just wasn't thinking, and I was like, the seafood platter sounds good. Like you can split between the two of us, and we're good. I mean, he brought this massive thing, And I will just say this: and we got 2 alcoholic beverages each. It was over $200 in Mexico. Yeah.
Was it filling though?
Oh yeah, I mean, I was
sometimes
stuffed.
I was like sometimes seafood is not
I-
filling.
I'm just expecting, my favorite seafood restaurant, Old Juicy Seafood, down here on Green River Road. I'm used to paying about $50.
I still haven't been there yet.
It's top tier. You have to go. It's my favorite place to eat.
Should have DoorDashed that.
It's they do DoorDash. It's but I will never take it home. I only eat it there because I get the bucket and it's a whole thing. I don't want to bring that to my house. It's a mess. I like to be able to just dump it and a little Chinese lady comes around and just takes it away from me.
Throw it in.
Yeah. And so
Take this.
so back to the Hooters restaurant. We were planning on just getting some room service after, because the way it worked, the dinner reservations were only at certain times and things like that. And that's all fine. So we were just gonna. This is late afternoon, so we were just gonna get a snack at Hooters, some wings and fries, and we'll get a late night later.
Yeah.
We're already in the city. It's fine. It's Hooters. We're American. Okay, we thought safe bet.
American, Mexico, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, it works for Mexico
It's
and American.
Hooters. So we were like, oh, this is fine.
Translate.
Yeah.
Back and forth.
And then that whole debate. Then the manager came out. I told the producer, I said, you have to talk to him. I said, I'm sorry, I could not. I was like, I'm going to cause a scene. I was like, I'm going to throw $20 on the table when we're going to get up and leave. I was like, I'm pissed. And so she talked to him. He understood it. He was also a little confused as to the 3-mile thing. Whatever.
I don't want this.
I said, we speak the same accent.
This.
What are we
Yes.
like misconnecting here? Long story short, I got my wings. I was pissed. It was like 30 minutes later.
Did you ever bring up like Google Translate at all?
Yes, and that worked on a couple different occasions. However, it doesn't work if your phone doesn't have good internet signal. Which where we just happen to be at, our phones worked in Mexico just fine.
Yeah.
We just happened to be in a weird spot to where
I did not.
Yeah, it just didn't. It wasn't loading. Like we would try to pull up the app, and it's like I would speak into it or text into it, and it would just spin, and it wouldn't load. And I was like,
interesting.
I'm about to leave. Like I'm getting heated. It was
Elon, you know what to do. Bring Starlink down there.
That's what I'm saying. You gotta take care of it, man.
Did you hear about that tribe getting Starlink and like all their like youth started just watching porn? They don't want to go fishing or hunting anymore.
That tribe got extinct in 72 hours. It's just people that gave the electricity.
And they're like, holy crap!
You just see the lights from the little huts that they have. It's 4 a.m. The lights are just going off in the little tribe huts there.
Crap.
Oh,
I first heard that from a podcast. I was like, there's no way. There's no way that they're not fishing and like scavenging because they're just sitting
They
there.
ran out of resources in 72 hours. They were
Oh
done.
my god.
You give someone from South Sudan an iPhone and Wi-Fi, it's game over.
Yeah. Oh, it was so funny though. I was like, there's no way. And I looked it up later on, and there was like a news article about it. Like, this tribe's gonna go under because they're watching too much porn.
Yeah, you'll have it on them bigger jobs.
They're like, Mia Khalifa is popular down in South Africa.
God bless. But all in all, great time. It was the all-inclusive thing. If you've never done one before, it's definitely the way to go. Just because it was nice that everything was included. And you would think, I thought going into it, to be honest with you, I was like, oh man, I'm gonna have to work. I'm gonna be drunk half the time and all this stuff.
Oh dang.
I was just like, I'm gonna wake up feeling like. I mean, I brought all the resources, an old man like myself.
Patches.
In my Reggie Miller year now, the hangover, and I didn't want to be hungover all vacation and headaches and just not want to do anything.
You want to be in Vegas again? Do want to come on with COVID?
Correct. Yes. And so I came prepared, but you know what? Surprisingly, I mean, I just I wouldn't say consistently, but majority of the time I'd start drinking noon, and just now. Granted, it's an all-inclusive, so they lower the alcohol that they're putting in these drinks. I mean, I probably ate Shit, I probably had 100 margaritas while I was down there.
100 margaritas. You're down there for 5 days. 100 margaritas.
All right, maybe like 75. I mean, I probably had
75 margaritas.
That's all.
Get out of here.
That's all we drank
Oh my god.
for 6 days. It was 6 days, but yes.
I'm hydrating with the water that is melting from the ice.
Yeah, well, I mean, they put them in these cups, no bigger than that. They're these tall,
Still a pretty big cup, but I get what you're saying.
more
yeah.
slush than anything. I got mine frozen, and God had so much tahini the whole time I was down there. They put that shit on the rim like it's freaking cocaine.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. I was convinced it was. No, but no, I mean, you probably have every bit of 10 a day. And
Man, I mean, that's pretty good though. If they're not putting that much alcohol in
they're
it.
not putting that much alcohol
And
in
it's
it.
probably house alcohol.
It's 100% house
Yeah.
alcohol. It's there were a couple times I never thought that. Can I get an old fashioned? Something like that. That I never had. I think I had one Modelo down there. That's it. Like that was the one that came in the room service fridge.
It's
Like,
Tecate as well.
yeah, a little Tecate, a little
Yeah.
Dos Equis action. But there was only out of those 6 days we were there, 2 of the days I actually got plastered. Plastered.
Yeah.
And even then, it took a while. Like one of the nights was the karaoke night.
That was a
Of course,
good,
all right,
that'd been a
that'd
good
be
night, yeah. That was a pretty sweet setup you guys had down there too. The whole stage and everything. You guys had like a couple of like.
I mean, that was a legit. If you've seen the timeout, the stage of timeout, that kind of setup. It was that.
Yeah.
But it was in a lounge style
Which
room.
I would love to go down to timeout and start karaoke.
No, I'm telling you, we can do it. They do it 3-4 nights a week, give or take.
3 or 4 nights a week we've never been.
Yeah, they legit. I know they do it for sure 3 nights a week. I don't know about 4, but
Oh my god.
like it's weird though. It's like Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays or something random. Like
off Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
no, yet you'd never asked to go. Anyways, so
True.
yeah, if you've never done an all-inclusive, it's the way to do it. At least try it once because it was a unique experience for myself. Just you don't pay for any of the food and the drink and stuff like there, so that part was different, but it was nice. All the gratuities and tips and stuff is included. I get bored and just call a room service for some fucking food. I was like watching. It was like watching one of the baseball games one night, or like freaking Sports Center at like 11 o'clock, and I was like, man, some nachos would be really good right now. Called damn room service and got nachos for free at like 11 o'clock at night.
That'd be freaking amazing.
And I didn't even have to move. I had the option. I went to the door and got it, but they would bring it in the room for you. It was, that's what we got. Breakfast in bed, like that stuff was. For the first 3 days we were there, we enjoyed the room service so much we didn't do they have a whole ass breakfast buffet upstairs. We didn't even go because we liked the room service that much. And we went down to the breakfast buffet and
was it worth it?
Yeah, we're like, oh my god, this is so much nicer. Why didn't we come down here to begin with?
But I guess so.
You have the convenience of,
Well,
just not moving, really.
Well, you went down there a certain person. You came back a different person. That's for sure. Not just Tanner, but you came back as a.
This is true. I'm gonna finish off the podcast with that. That was my trip to Cancun. It was a great time. Definitely would do it again if you ever get the chance. Save a little money. Go. It's well worth it. I highly recommend.
I would like to go down there. I don't know if I'd rather go there or Sandals, just because of the Office kind of thing. I would love to redo.
100%. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
I would. I'd definitely check. Now that resort was amazing. I definitely recommend it. But I'd probably check out another, Dominican or something like that. Puerto Rico, or just something different. Cancun was cool, but
anything all inclusive kind of thing.
Anything all inclusive. Now that I've been to it, it's definitely the way to go for sure.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all I got. Looks like my slushie is finally gone.
No, I think we got one more thing.
Oh, that's it's my style. I gotta leave one for the homies.
It's ridiculous. We were at Hornet's Nest 1.0 the other day, and he had probably this much left in his beer, and Which
You
if
had
y'all,
to-
if
you
y'all, if y'all
you
were
had places
listening,
to be. I was there to socialize.
If y'all were listening, it's about a quarter of his beer left. I got up. I was like, "Oh, you ready to go?"
Like, oh wait, no, I gotta get down to an 8.
Yeah, an 8. Yeah.
We can do a Southern goodbye, you know.
Yeah. I get you. So
Well, that's it. That's it for
that's
me.
it. That's
Yeah.
it. Nothing else. No certain surprises
Make
for our
make sure
fans, or-
to follow us on all our social media. If you've tuned in again, it is with a warm heart that we thank you for tuning in, because it's been a while since we've done a podcast episode. But we appreciate you guys tuning in, listening to us ramble and rant on about whatever the hell we feel like talking about for this week. And we hope to get you back to your regularly scheduled programming. But it is football season. We're going to talk about that next episode, because we'll get, and we've got a lot to talk about, you know, bash Will Levis and that kind of thing. We've got a football episode to talk about.
I never thought I'd be rooting for Ryan Tannehill ever in my life.
I got to know. We got a whole bit about that. We got to get Big Joe back on here, and we got to talk some football, because we're going on week 4 now.
Week 5.
Week 5 now.
Yep.
Thank you. I've got a lot to say as far as football goes and the like, but we need to get Big Joe back on here, get a rack of Busch Light in here, and
Absolutely.
make magic happen. The socials, as always, the Brews and Views Pod, all our social media platforms. If you still follow us, again, thank you. We appreciate your support. Anyone outside our family that listens to this, we greatly appreciate your support. And that should be it for me.
I don't think it is.
Oh yeah, you know how we end the pod. Oh, I did forget one special shout. Shout out to the producer, who I guess we can finally name is my new fiance, Miss Lucy Odom.
Hey, cheers brother.